Welcome to the Wayne Bennett Podcast, celebrating West Virginia's people, places, and the culture of Southern Appalachia. Now here's your host, Wayne Bennett.
Welcome to Wayne Bennett's Podcast. This is episode 47. I'd like to give a shout out to Atticus Goodson from Independence High School. He was recently named the Kennedy Award winner, the best high school football player in West Virginia, and comes from a great family. I happened to have his mother in class at one time and coached his uncle, and a good family, good people, and we want to say congratulations, Merry Christmas. This is December the 24th, 2021, Christmas Eve, and families are getting together, and it's a big couple of days. For some people it might be a little taxing, others are traveling and looking forward to it. Last weekend I talked about one of the Christmas gifts that I got, and I got a bicycle, and it was a used bicycle. My brother painted it with a paintbrush to make it look better, and then the first day on Christmas Day I got to ride it around a little bit and had a flat tire, and it wasn't a real good Christmas that time, but not all my Christmases were bad. That was just one of them that didn't turn out too good. I've got my wife Diane and my son Jeremy, and they're here with us. We're gonna exchange a little bit and some of the Christmases they remember. And Jeremy, anything in particular?
All right, so I can't remember years, so please forgive me, but probably my two favorite Christmases is there was one year where we were doing Christmas Eve at my aunt Judy's house. They were living in Beaver at the time, and the gift I got from my cousin Joyce, it ended up being a bunch of Washington Redskins stuff. One of them happened to be a program. I believe it was the Redskins and the Jets, and she got the starting running back Reggie Brooks to sign it at the time. So there's that one. And then the other one was there was this one year where both my dad or both my grandfather and my brother were getting the same acoustic guitar, and one of them happened to be here, so I didn't really sneak. It's not like Mom didn't know that I was playing the guitar that was here, but I ended up coming home from school and playing it and all that stuff. At no point that I can remember anyway did I say that I wanted one of my own, but she ended up getting me one anyway. So those are probably my two favorite Christmases.
And I think we ended up with that guitar back. I think we have it.
Yeah, the one that I ended up with is now here with my mom and dad. So,
what about you, Diane?
Well, I kind of wanted to talk about a Christmas many, many years ago. When you and I were first married, we didn't have a whole lot of money. My friend Susan divorced. I went over to her house. John was real small then, and when I got over there, the family themselves had gotten me a Christmas present. And when I opened it up, it was a coat, and I needed a coat so bad. And I just thought that was probably one of the sweetest Christmases that I ever had, for them to do that for me. And they were a special family, still are. Of course, the mother and father passed on, but Susan, we still see each other about reunion times and talk some on Facebook. But I thought that was a real sweet Christmas.
Well, when I was younger, I was pretty fortunate about some of the presents that I got. I can remember one, I got a chemistry set one year, and I don't know if kids get chemistry sets anymore, but I always wanted a chemistry set, and ended up with one, and mine was kind of a little cheaper version, and I went through the chemicals real fast, and the trick was you had to continue doing the experiments, you had to buy more chemicals, and that's when it got a little more expensive. So I worked at a point I just couldn't afford to do it anymore. And I also realized at that time I wasn't going to be a chemist because I wasn't very good at it. And then another gift that I wanted, I picked it out. I decided after I wasn't going to be a chemist, I wanted to be a ventriloquist. And so I got this doll, this Danny O'Day doll, who was a big-time ventriloquist back during that time. And I'd already thought, I'm going to learn how to do this, going to make a lot of money, and that's what I was going to do for my career. And the doll I had was the cheaper version of Danny O'Day, and the only thing you could do was make its mouth move. You couldn't make its head move or anything like that. And so, but I thought I got pretty good at it, but not to the point that anybody would pay to listen to it. But we kept that doll forever. I mean, even after we got married, we had that doll. I think that doll was in the fire that we had.
It was, because in fact, it was up in the attic for years and years here in this house. But we didn't move here until after we'd been married, 3 or 4 years. Yeah. And it was up in the attic for a long, long time.
But eventually I realized I wasn't going to be a ventriloquist either. But those are a couple of the gifts that I got. How about Christmases?
Well, let's talk about some of the traditions that I grew up with. One of the things that I passed on to my family is that you got to open one gift on Christmas Eve. And you knew that it was pajamas. So, we always look forward to that. And so I passed that on to my boys when they were little. I always got them pajamas. And most of the time, as long as I could control it, they would wear those pajamas. But I remember the last year that I bought Jeremy a new pair of pajamas. He put them on, wore them that night for Christmas Day to get the pictures. And then he stuffed them in his drawer, brand new. So the next year, when I was going through his drawers trying to figure out, what did he still need so I could get Christmas presents, there was those pajamas. So I thought, well, I'm not going to buy him another pair of pajamas when he doesn't even wear these. So I wrapped them up again. And he had them again. When he opened up, he said, "Mom, aren't these the pajamas you got me last year?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "But if you're not going to wear them in just one night, you can just wear them again."
Yeah, I can honestly say that is not a tradition that I have passed down to my kids. I was not a fan of pajamas, period. I don't, so yeah, that is not a tradition that I have passed down to my children. I can't speak for my brother, but that's not a tradition that I've passed down.
We had in our family, we were at the beach one year, and when my mom was alive, and they found a pair of women's shoes at the beach. And Sandals. And for some reason, somebody decided to take them home, and then that Christmas, somebody got them as a gift from Santa, and those sandals went back and forth from family members for years and years. And then finally somebody put a stop to it and got rid of the sandals. Yeah. I don't know, but I
think they put them in a garage sale and sold them.
And then we had a piece of lead metal that we passed around for several years, and I don't know, it still might be out there. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know who the last person was that got it.
Jimmy was the last person to get it. I think that was either last year or a couple years ago. But I believe
would have been last year because we didn't meet last year because of the pandemic.
So we'll see if it shows up. I don't know.
Yeah, see if Santa brings it back.
A piece of lead, actually, what that was. But I had. Another gift I got when I was a kid, but it was kind of a little too late. I always wanted a radio flyer wagon like all the other kids had, and never did get one. But then when I was in the 7th grade, I don't know whether my dad bought it or him, but I ended up with a radio flyer wagon, but I was kind of outgrown it by that time. I didn't really want one, but I took it. It was something I'd wanted younger, but and then one year for Christmas, I signed up for, as one of my gifts, I signed up for a radio announcing course. And it only costs like $3, and you send the money in, and they send you instructions how to be a radio announcer. And of course, it didn't work out very well.
I don't even remember that. Was that when you were a kid?
Oh yeah, that was when I was a kid. And, yeah, I can remember one of the lines that they had you to practice, and here's a cool cat from Canada came down across the line to have himself a time. Mr. Paul Anka singing "Put Your Head on My Shoulder."
Oh, right. That's hilarious.
Oh man!
Oh, and that only cost me $3.
You remembered it. That was one thing.
And some things you just can't forget, you know. But what other traditions?
Well, we host Christmas here at our house now. It started out at your mother's house, and then when there got to be too many of us, then it moved to Judy's house. And once she moved into the house that she's in now, it moved to our house. So we've been doing this here for about, what?
Wasn't there
20
one
years?
year that we did one at Helen's house? Because for some reason I remember that one.
I don't know. I think Judy said that it's been almost 25 years here.
Yeah.
I think it was 96 when they came.
Okay, because I just remember there being one year that I thought that we were at Helen's house, but maybe I'm wrong.
But anyways, we fix a big dinner, and we open Christmas presents and things like that. But I was going to talk about the dinners that we've had. Jeremy has always been real picky, and he won't eat things like turkey or ham or any mashed potatoes, none of the dressing. He won't eat any of those things. And so every year we either buy him a pizza, or we fix him a Chef Boyardee pizza, or we fix him a hamburger, something different than everybody else. But one year I decided that I was going to get some turkey in him one way or the other. So I bought some turkey burgers and made him turkey burgers. Well, he put so much ketchup on everything, he didn't even realize that was what he was eating, because you couldn't see the burger for the ketchup. So I think it was many years later before he even knew that we had done that. I think John told him that he had been eating turkey burgers for most of the Thanksgivings and the Christmases. That's usually what he got.
Yeah, it is a cardinal sin in my house to not have ketchup, Dr. Pepper, or Doritos. So that's pretty much how things work.
And then usually on Christmas Day we spend it at Diane's family's house, and it's quite a large group, and there's always gag gifts and things to make a lot of laughs, a lot of goings on. And,
are you feeling left out? That's what goes around, and then they start passing out goofy stuff, and it is a lot of fun. We do have a good time.
People say that the Christmas season, that it's about giving, and that some people say that you enjoy the giving more than receiving. But believe me, if you've got $1 million out there you want to give me, I would probably be a lot happier than you are. But I've got a story that I wrote several years ago, actually around 2010, and I'd like to share it with you. It's a true story about an athlete that I used to coach, and it involves giving. So let me read it to you just a second. This is a true story. Billy was a proud young man who attended the same junior high where I coached football and wrestling. He was the oldest of 4 children. Billy would mow grass and do odd jobs to get money so he could help his mother with expenses. His father had abandoned him years before, and it was tough getting by. There were food stamps and some welfare, but Billy's contributions allowed his brother and sisters to do or have things that young children deserve. With his busy schedule, Billy still attended school regularly and was a good student. He also played football and wrestled for me during his 3 years at junior high. Not a bad athlete, Billy would give you everything he had just for a little praise. Long before clothing vouchers, Billy would start the school year in ragged jeans and worn-out tennis shoes. While most of the kids would spend their time checking out each other's new school clothes, Billy would spend any extra time helping the janitor or doing errands for teachers. In wrestling season, Billy would borrow other wrestlers' shoes during his matches because he had none and his ragged tennis shoes would not pass as legitimate footwear. Because of his pride, it was hard to give Billy anything. Sometimes I would give him a school t-shirt or an old football jersey, and he would insist on working to pay for them. He would stay after practice and clean the locker room and straighten equipment or even paint when needed. I never offered him any shoes because he would not accept them as a gift, and I was afraid he would work forever trying to repay me. During his 9th grade year, Billy had a good football season, was doing well in wrestling, even in borrowed shoes. By this time, his tennis shoes were really showing their wear, and sometimes the other kids would call him Billy No Shoes. It was early December, and a buddy of mine who owned a sporting goods store called and asked me if I knew any kid who might need shoes for Christmas. Boy, did I. I told my friend about Billy, and within a week he gave me a nice pair of leather tennis shoes and a pair of new wrestling shoes. My friend insisted on remaining anonymous. I lied when I gave Billy the shoes and told him he had a secret fan and they thought the new shoes might help him perform better. He suspiciously accepted. You couldn't help but see the elation and happiness he was trying so hard to hide. He also couldn't hide the pride that was so evident when he wore his new kicks, as he called them. Billy went on through high school and joined the Marines upon graduation, still sending money home for his younger siblings. Billy was an excellent soldier. Not long after deployment to Iraq during Desert Storm, Billy was severely wounded in a battle while protecting his own. After many operations, Billy returned home to be a citizen again. I visited Billy upon his return, and we spent the whole afternoon reminiscing. He related to me the best times of his life were when he wrestled and played ball. He also shared with me the happiest time of his life was getting those new shoes, tennis shoes, and wrestling shoes. I told him the fan insisted on being anonymous and continued to give shoes away at Christmas for many years. Sometimes he would donate 20 pairs or more to kids in need. You could tell Billy was still grateful, and I'm sure the other recipients were too. That particular fan was Chuck Littlejohn, who used to own Littlejohn Sporting Goods, but we've had several other friends. I know Larry Foster that ran Spartan Sporting Goods donated baseball shoes and clothes for athletes for many years. Our buddy Pete Tirico's worked in the Max Toy Fund for who knows how long and donating time, gathering gifts and making people's Christmases a lot better. But those are just a few of the guys that have helped make someone's Christmas special, and we want to say Merry Christmas to those fellas. And you guys have any other traditions or anything that?
Well, speaking of Max Toy Fund, when Jessie was in junior high, she had to do some community service hours, and I called Pete, and I said, can anybody, volunteer for Max Toy Fund? And he said, yeah. And so for years, she and I would go over and help at Max Toy Fund. And when Cassie got old enough to go, she got to go 1 year, I think, before they stopped it. But that was really something that we enjoyed doing together. Kaylee, unfortunately, because they don't do it anymore, probably won't get the opportunity to do that. But that was one of our traditions. We would do that. The two girls and I would do that every year. We enjoyed that.
Well, the only thing that I would say about, from, I've done the financial part of this podcast. So the one thing that I would speak to is the most fun that you will ever have with money or with anything else is the giving part. For some, yeah, it's easier to perceive, but for others, I can honestly say that the giving part sometimes can be hard. In my case, sometimes depending upon who it is, it's hard for me to receive the gifts. So I absolutely love Christmas for that, because you do get the opportunity to give to friends, family, whatever the case may be.
Now, the one other thing, on Christmas Eve, our family, we sing some Christmas carols. After eating, we sing Christmas carols, and before we exchange gifts. And the one Christmas song, the 12 Days of Christmas,
Yes.
We have attempted that for 25 years, and
Attempted probably is not the word that I would use.
and we very seldom get through it immaculately. I'm not sure that we've ever gotten through it without making mistakes, but it's a lot of fun. And even one year somebody cheated and brought the words, and we still messed it up. So,
There was one year where I believe I looked it up on my phone. That didn't help. Then the next year, Mom printed off the words.
But they were so small.
But they were so
all
small
of us old
that
people.
it just really didn't work, because we would usually get I think it was the first 6 or 7 right, and then from like 8 on we just completely botched it. So, but
it's always good.
Yeah.
well, this year is going to be the year, I think. So we're getting practice. But
yeah, you say that every year and we never do.
But let's not forget the reason for the season. And Diane, what can you add about that?
Well, I told the girls yesterday when I had them out in the car, I said, this has been fun. I've enjoyed, shopping with you guys, but the real reason for the season. And they said, being with family. And I said, no, it's about the baby Jesus. I said, the reason for the season is because of Jesus Christ being born. And they said, oh yeah, we know that. But that is true. We get caught up in the gift giving and the buying and the shopping and things.
And the eating.
And the eating, yes. And the cooking. But the real reason that we celebrate Christmas is because of the true gift that was given to us by God. And we need to be very thankful for that.
And I'm going to start fasting on Monday.
Right. Yeah.
Good. Then I won't have to cook anything for you. You can just.
Jeremy, any final words?
The one thing that I would say is, yes, Jesus is the reason for the season. Because God gave His only begotten Son, we should always remember that because God gave, we should give too, whether it be gifts, be it time, be it love, be it in an encouraging word. Because I know, especially in our family, for the last year, we've had a lot of loss. So sometimes even calling somebody and talking with them is something to do during the Christmas season. So that's all that I would say.
And for that, people out there listening, we wish you a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And if you want to
Merry Christmas.
Get on the show, you can contact me on Facebook or awbennett50@gmail.com. That's my email. And we've got something special coming up here in a couple of weeks. We'll be celebrating our 1-year anniversary. We're going to be giving a lot of prizes away. And pay attention. Get on Facebook and check our page out. And maybe you'll be a prize winner. And till next time, remember. remember, if you're not dead yet, you're not done yet, and God bless you.